everyone, my name is Belle and welcome back to Hampton Your House. If you're new here, thanks so much for joining me. I make lots of DIY videos and tips and tricks about bringing the coastal Hamptons vibe to your house. So I would love to have you subscribe if that sounds like your thing. I bought this little footstool or Ottoman a while ago at a garage sale for $15 and today I'm gonna give it a Hamptons Style makeover. I'm planning on painting the legs white and then putting on a new cushion as well as some padded side panels. I think it's going to be a little bit of trial and error, but let's see how it turns out. First, I unscrewed the seat cushion piece and I decided to replace the base for the cushion because the size was a bit uneven. I'm going to sand off some of the glossy surface of the paint to help the new paint stick better. Don't worry, it won't take long. Next, I'm using a primer and then following it up with 2 coats of white paint. I painted the whole frame for continuity, even though parts of it won't end up being visible. I needed some pieces of wood to make my side panels, so out comes the trusty saw. I made the end pieces the same length as the original frame and the front pieces to overlap the new end pieces so that all the edges are square. You can double check the lengths by blue tacking them onto the frame. This also helped me to measure the total size of the wood I needed for the base of the seat cushion, so I could measure that up and cut it as well. Give the edges of all your pieces of wood a quick sand to get rid of any sharp edges or corners that the fabric or foam might catch on. Next, I've got my foam, which I picked up from Spotlight. I'm going to measure and cut a piece that's about 1 centimetre bigger than my seat base on all sides, so that the cushion will end up roughly the same width as the side panels once it's all done. Score the foam with a bread knife and then gradually make the cut deeper. Make sure you're keeping the knife perfectly straight, so your foam will be an even thickness all the way down. This stuff is messy, so you may want to give your work area a quick vacuum every now and then. Next, we need to measure out and cut the foam for our side panels, and we also need some extra strips of foam about 1 centimetre thick to cover the wood edges of the seat cushion. Grab some craft glue or a glue gun to stick your foam onto the wood. If you're using craft glue, you may want to spread it out a bit to help it stick better. Glue gun seems to be quite a bit easier for sticking the extra strips of foam onto the sides. You just have to make sure you get them in place really quickly. Get some nice, thick, durable upholstery fabric and fold it around your seat cushion so you have some excess fabric on the underneath side. Then measure it out and cut it to size. Once you've done that, fold the fabric over onto the wood, pulling it as tightly as you can and staple it down in the center of each side. Draw some quick lines on your wood at 45-degree angles from each corner, and then pull the fabric tight and staple along each edge up to the line. In hindsight, I probably didn't need quite this much fabric, but it's always better to have a little extra just in case. Test out folding the material on the corner by making a straight line along the corner and tucking the rest of the material into the fold you've created. Once you're happy with the look, you can cut out some of the bulk of the fabric like this. Remember to start by cutting less. You can always cut more later if you need to. You need to have enough to roll a seam over and create a neat edge, and on the other side for it to tuck inside neatly. Once you're happy with the fold, staple it down well. Repeat this for all the corners, making sure your folds all face the ends of the stool, not the long side, and then cut off the excess fabric. Dab a little glue on the inside of each seam so that the fabric will all stay perfectly in place when somebody sits on the cushion. Now to make the side panels, I had this potentially crazy idea to hammer nails through the boards and leave them sticking out the back while I upholster the front, so I can then just hammer them on to the sides when they're done through the upholstery. When you're doing this, make sure you've checked the frame of the legs for the right place to put your nails, so they won't be running into any screws or hanging over the edge. Next, grab the foam you cut before for the side panels. It should be around 2 centimeters thick, and glue it onto your wood with a glue gun. Then cut out your fabric and follow the same procedure we used to upholster the seat cushion. Just watch out for the nails. Time to attach the new seat cushion to the base. I checked that the seat was exactly in the center and screwed all the screws in through the new wood, but realized they needed to be drilled out a little bit, so I unscrewed them again so I could use the holes I made as a guide and got out the drill. The screws went in much better this time. Now to attach our side panels. Make sure they're in the right place, cover over the fabric with an old cloth or tea towel and hammer them into place. As a final touch, I'm putting on some silver upholstery tacks, just 3 on each corner as a little bit of bling. Just get them in the right spot and hammer them down. They're quite easy to reposition if you need to. And here's the finished product. Check out these before and afters, quite the transformation. Well, I hope you've enjoyed watching this transformation as much as I've enjoyed putting it together. I think it's turned out so well. It has a fresh modern look even though it's quite a classic style, and it's very comfortable to sit on or to use as a footstool. It makes such a cute addition to our lounge room. I would love for you to check out some more of my videos after this one. I'll leave a link to my DIY playlist below and up in the cards. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Hampton Your House. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye guys.